name's Neil Stallbaum. Today we're going to go through a shoulder workout. It's a progressive overload that I've been working on for about 5 to 6 weeks now. It's going to consist of a circuit intro of about 250 to 300 reps, and then I'm going to start the compound exercises like the press, rear delt, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to go for some really heavy lifting on the compound stuff, and then break it down with some drop sets, supersets, and that's pretty much it.
What we saw there could happen to any of us. Fortunately, it is the responsibility of the United States Air Force.
Little things like ace. Syntax. Syntax. Things like ace.
This is the type of training I'm used to. In the past, I played professional soccer, so a lot of my workouts were a lot of high rep sort of stuff, and that's what I'm used to. So I like that sort of training. This year, for the first time, I'm having an off season, so it's been 5 years of competing non-stop. So I've tried to change things up a little bit by increasing some compound movements, a lot more heavy and low reps. And I've found that, you know, in the last probably 7 or 8 months, I've increased nearly 25 kilos. So this is probably the biggest off season I've had, sitting at about 104 with probably about 13% body fat at the moment. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think it works. The hardest thing for me was having time off to try and let my body thicken out a bit. I'm usually quite lean, and it's pretty hard for me to build a lot of mass. So this off season's been about pretty much eating. I've taken my calories up to about 7,000 on the high days, and try to really increase the carbohydrates and just try and grow. So I'm hoping 2014 FitX, I'm going to have a real crack at that. Hopefully, just to see where I come in at. If I come in over 90, under 90, it'll be something that I'm just going to keep plugging away. I got into bodybuilding around 2009. I did my first INBA show. It came along basically after having some time off professional sport. I hit a peak and I came back to Australia and there wasn't really much happening for me here. So I needed a new focus, a new goal. In about 2007, 2008, I started coming to some of the bodybuilding gyms. I was doing a thesis on some sports medicine that I'm involved in. And during those uni times, I found that I studied a lot of different training techniques that bodybuilders and those types of athletes were doing, and try to collaborate my knowledge in strength and conditioning, and also looking at other ways for what I specialise in, which is athlete rehab. After last year, jumping into the IIFYM, it really opened up my eyes into what I really want to achieve, which would be something like an Arnold Classic, Amateur Classic, or something like that, and really put myself against some of the biggest and the best. For me now, I think it's a lot more of a patience game. I'm trying to understand my body a lot better and trying different things. And for me, probably 2015, I'm looking at hitting the Arnold Classic Amateur. That's my long-term goal. But obviously to do that, I have to try and beat some of the best here, and that hasn't happened yet in the IFBB. So that's really what I'm going to be doing over the next 6 to 8 months, is try and really crack it and try and win one of the categories, and hopefully with some luck over the next few years and overall, which is something that's always stays in the back of your mind. It is a time game, and for me, I've got plenty of it. So just focusing on that, and trying to promote as much bodybuilding as possible within the community. I have a development program for young teenagers that we try and that we've put in place, and myself and my partner JJ look at developing the athletes over a 4 to 5 year period, and hopefully opening some doors along the way, and really outreaching the community and letting them know that there is a sport, and it's really, really good. So many people look at the sport, as it's just about steroids or a load of nonsense, meatheads and things like that. So we're trying to encourage a lot more positive outlook on what bodybuilding really is, and not just about the nutrition and all that sort of stuff, but the health benefits that comes along with it, by focusing and trying to achieve goals. So in the end, for me, you've always got your body, and that's something that should be looked after. I think the encouraging thing, or what we try and encourage, is that even though people look at bodybuilding, there's a stigma around it that it's pushing the wrong sorts of ideals. You got to look at the positive side of, when you're in the gym, or when these kids are in the gym, they're off the street. Okay, their parents know where they are. They're doing something for their bodies. It's a healthy attitude. It teaches them discipline, respect, and it also encourages them to do something for themselves. Where a lot of the team sports, you get your solos, you get your individuals, and that linkage or that collaboration can only be, work well when the team sets in well. With bodybuilding, it's a lot different, because you're relying on yourself, and what that does for these kids is it teaches them responsibility, not just when they're teenagers, but when they get up and they start becoming young adults, and that those sort of values pass through, and then hopefully they encourage, for the next generation, and so forth and so forth. We've got a Facebook page, Lenartowicz Health and Fitness Solutions. It's also our YouTube channel. You can also check out my partner's Facebook page, which is JJ Mitchell Sports Fitness Model. So our outreach is basically on social media. We're in the progress now of doing our website and little things like that, but we want to make sure that we've got the right foundations first, and over the next probably 5 to 6 months, Line of Fire, the business and our company, we'll actually be doing a lot of other things like training camps and doing some community stuff that we've organised through wheelchair sports and different foundations that we can try and instill and try and encourage.